Welcome to the HVCC Eyes on the Sky series, an update about current astronomy, space science, and sky events. I'm astronomer Richard Monda, and this is Eyes on the Sky for September 2021. September begins with a waning lunar crescent in the eastern sky about an hour before sunrise. On that morning, the moon will be about 30% lit and against the stars of Gemini the Twins. On September 2nd, the thinning crescent is visible between the twins. The twins are Castor, marked by a bright star of the same name, and Pollux, indicated by the brightest star of the constellation. On September 3rd, only 14% of the moon appears illuminated as it situates below Pollux. The next morning, the moon displays a thin sliver of light near the horizon. Also, as the month begins, we can see the bright planet Venus in the west-southwestern evening sky, and to the lower right, the planet Mercury. Venus is near the star Spica, a hot, bluish star, 4 times hotter than the Sun, 11 times as massive, and over 20,000 times brighter. Spica is the brightest star of the constellation Virgo, whose stars may well be lost in the bright twilight. A good pair of binoculars will help coax these stars out of the dusk sky. As the first week of the month progresses, Venus increases in altitude and appears to approach Spica, while Mercury heads for the horizon, setting earlier each day. Many spacecraft have visited Venus, and on June 2nd, NASA announced 2 new missions to the second planet from the Sun, Da Vinci Plus and Veritas. The Da Vinci Plus mission will consist of 2 parts, a Venus-orbiting spacecraft to determine the planet's surface composition, and a meter-wide probe that will make physical and chemical measurements as it spends about an hour falling through the Venetian clouds. This will be the first NASA probe to enter the planet's atmosphere since 1978. The Da Vinci mission is currently planned for later this decade. Veritas will spend 3 years orbiting Venus. Specially designed instruments and radars will fully map the entire planet's surface in high definition. And an update on the OSIRIS-REx mission to the asteroid Bennu. After extending its sampling arm, the spacecraft has collected material from the asteroid and stored it on board. Now, OSIRIS-REx is on its way back to Earth, and on September 24th, 2023, will drop its sample onto the Utah Test and Training Range. The moon reaches new phase on September 7th at 8:52 p.m. and starts a new cycle of phases. The next evening, the moon is back in the sky as a thin crescent to the upper right of Mercury, and on the 9th, to the upper right of Venus. By September 10th, the moon is now 4 days old and moving eastward out of Virgo. The waxing crescent on the 11th approaches Scorpius the Scorpion. And on September 12th, the lunar crescent pairs with the heart of Scorpius, the red-orange star Antares. First quarter moon takes place on September 13th at 4:39 p.m. The next evening, the waxing gibbous is within the teapot lid of Sagittarius the Archer. On the 15th, the moon continues gliding through Sagittarius, and on the 16th, it enters Capricornus, the Seagoat. That night, the 11-day-old moon appears in the region of Saturn. The next evening, it's in the vicinity of Jupiter. In May 2020, an amateur astronomer named Clyde Foster discovered an unexpected feature in Jupiter's clouds. Then Juno, the current spacecraft around Jupiter, took this image of the spot. It turned out to be a plume of cloud material erupting into the top layers of the giant planet's atmosphere. On April 15, 2021, Juno's cameras found that Clyde spot had changed into a swirling structure called a folded filamentary region. By September 19th, the nearly full moon is in the central part of Aquarius, and on the 20th, the moon reaches full at 7:55 p.m. against the stars of Pisces the Fish. This is the harvest moon. Over the next few days, the waning lunar gibbous moves between constellations. On September 21st, the moon is in Cetus the Whale, then back in Pisces on the 22nd, and just over the boundary into Aries on the 23rd. The moon continues to glide through Aries and into the winter zodiac, so that by September 26th, it is between the Pleiades and the Hyades star clusters of Taurus the Bull. The next night, the 20-day-old moon is between the bull's horns, and on the 28th, the moon is last quarter at 9:57 p.m. That night, the quarter moon is above the raised right arm of Orion the Hunter. As September ends, a waning lunar crescent appears near where it started the month, in Gemini the Twins. I'm Hudson Valley Community College astronomer Richard Monda, reminding you to stay safe, be well, and keep your eyes on the sky.